Welcome back, viewers, to another Heads Up podcast. Neil Davis and the GOAT going through a bit of racing and sports action for the weekend. And as we welcome you, Neil, it's been probably one of the more interesting weeks either of us have encountered in our racing careers, shall we say, where we basically have a lockdown period of no people allowed at the races other than those essential for running the race meeting. Quite bizarre times we're living in at the moment.
They sure are. Last week you mentioned, it's going to change week by week, and you were dead right. And here we are a week later having ghost meetings. And I think you were involved with the New Plymouth races yesterday. And I think people, by and large, I've spoken to are taking it in their stride and realise, gee, we're lucky to have the racing going. So if we can just keep those riders corona free, I think NZTA have done the right thing, separating the islands and doing everything they can to keep those riders healthy. We have a chance of keeping it going, but as you say, it's going to be a week by week, day by day thing, isn't it?
Absolutely, and we might as well, since we're on the subject, touch on yesterday, and it was great to see those participants who were on course, the trainers, the strappers, etc., understanding that as much as possible, avoiding contact with the jockeys. Obviously, you can't do it 100% because there is some necessary things like legging them up, for example. But where possible, they avoided contact, and it was good to see. And I think everyone realises that it's important to follow the right processes because we don't really want to think of the alternative, do we, Neil, of no racing?
Exactly. And no, I think if we can hang in there, it could be a positive for racing to get exposed to a wider audience, because people will be looking for entertainment, live entertainment, racing, sporting. So it could be a positive, but time will tell. Now, last week, Jennifer Eccles, gee, was she a class or two or three classes ago?
Yeah, I think we got to stop finding reasons to bag favourites, Neil. We seem to be going real good at finding all the reasons why a favourite won't win, and they pull our pants down, literally. She was way too good. Just that acceleration from, say, the 400 to even just the 300. The race was over at the 300, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
She put the field away in 100 metres and basically coasted down to the line, and some pretty happy people on course at Trentham with the big ownership contingent there.
mm.
What do you reckon? What's your gut feel? Will she go to Australia, or will that be it for her 3-year-old season?
Well, she just seems to be getting better and better, and Sean Ritchie knows it really well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they took her over there and rolled the dice. But once you're over there, you're sort of stuck over there if you're going travelling with her, aren't you? But now you've got to weigh all these things up. But what if she's on an upward track? Well, not an upward track, but she's taking no harm from that and getting better and better. Why not? Are they planning on going?
Absolutely.
Are they planning on going?
I think it's a 50-50 sort of thing at the moment. Yeah. I have to say, though, big run, the second horse, for a horse that was relatively unproven.
Sure.
Maiden winner at its last start, Van Cougar. Pretty good effort there. What about on the day, Neil, as a whole? Did you enjoy the racing at Trentham, or were you kind of a bit put off by what seemed like an inside bias to a degree?
Well, you could sort of see after a while it was on pace, especially with the tempos of the race. If you weren't near the pace on a moderately run race, you just had no chance. Levante was an outstanding run, obviously, but they actually ran along in that race. So to get where she did was just enormous. She's top class. But I know you got some thoughts still on what you thought.
Yeah, well, just an observation more than anything. And we've seen Auckland run back-to-back Saturday meetings, the Derby, the Cup. Wellington ran back-to-back Saturday meetings, a low-key affair on the first day, the Oaks on the second day. And we've seen Tauranga run back-to-back meetings last Saturday and also this Saturday coming up. Both Auckland and Tauranga basically with their rail started the rail in the true position and on the first of their Saturdays and then just moved it out for wear and tear. Ellerslie, I think, 3 metres around the bends. Tauranga, I think, is out 2 metres following the first day. But Trentham, they had their rail out 6 metres on the first day and then brought it back into the true position on the second day. when it was pretty evident that there was not going to be any rain in the forecast for that first day. So you've used up the ground out wide and you've created a fresh strip close to the rail. And I don't think any horse really came past that 6 metres out to threaten the winner, to being the winner, or look like being the winner. So it does create a bit of a fast lane type scenario. Just wondering why wouldn't you just go the Ellerslie and Tauranga way? But
Exactly.
it's one of those things, food for thought.
It's okay for punters. Punters can sort of see what's happening and adapt to it. But if you're an owner, you're thinking, oh, shit, I'm a back run. I'm drawn wide. I've got no chance of coming down the inside or near the inside. What's the point in racing? It must be frustrating. No, but the owners are paying big money to get the product, get the horses racing around there. They deserve a better reasoning for that rail movement. So might even give the club a call during the week and just, or the track manager, just see what the reasoning was. He may have a valid reason for it. So I'll find out and report back next week.
Good on you. Look forward to hearing that.
Mm.
What else last week? Melody Bell, brave run.
Yep.
Didn't get all favours, but don't think it would have won.
No, it was a really good run. She was held up. I was thinking, come on, Opie, get out. She got out, but that horse was just too strong. And William Pike, top rider. She's a great mare, isn't she, Melody Bell? Just gave it everything, and still got a place for those who backed her each way. They'll be happy. So, yeah, that was good racing. What else last week? Oh, the Rabbitohs. I thought we were in there with the Rabbitohs last week. We're out by a big margin and got the stitch.
Mate, the old early crow got us. Thought we were home. All money, couple of late tries by the Sharks, and they get back under that 5.5 point start. So, yeah, another duck egg for this main sports bet. We did suggest the Hurricanes were a decent shout at upsetting the Chiefs, and they got the business done, but it's not good enough for the Rabbitohs. Shall we talk about this week's sports tip then, Neil, while we're on
before that, just talking about going the early crow, I at Tauranga races last week when Popstar Princess was in front. I thought, oh, God, she looked terrific before the start. She got a soft lead, I thought, on the turn. God, she just got a kick here, and she's going to win. And she kicked okay, fought really hard, but Go Nicholas just out-bobbled her. But yeah, it would have been nice. 6.5K to return 21,000 would have been nice, but we should try and forget those sort of things, shouldn't we? But the other pick six syndicate for the dogs on Monday. I know you were there, and we got $1,000 back. So we're going again on Monday for that syndicate at the Wingatui 10K terminating pick six. So how about last Monday? You were there. What was it like?
That was an awesome day. Very good day. Great. Yep. Great camaraderie with the commentators. There's some personalities amongst them. Tell you the guy who I really enjoyed talking to and interviewing, guy I hadn't met before, but the voice of the South, Dave McDonald, very good fella, really nice guy.
Okay,
you're in the in that part of the world and you want a new letterbox, he's the man to get hold of. He's got a side business making letterboxes, would you believe?
Wooden ones, metal ones, all sorts?
No, stone ones. Very nice stone.
Permanent ones.
Rock kind of, suits if you've got a nice stone schist kind of look on your house. He can accompany you with a very fancy letterbox. So, no, that was all good fun.
What are you on commission?
No commission here, Neil. Good to see the first ever race call of a greyhound race by a female commentator. I thought Pip did pretty well.
She did too. So 2 calls.
It was good fun actually. A good day out. And a few good stories told, which we can't really tell on here, but
I'll look forward to those off here anyway. Okay. Right, Tauranga tomorrow. Good race tomorrow, isn't it? That only 7 races, but big race 6.
Race 6, the Ultimate Mazda Japan Trophy. Let me just find my market here, Neil. Let's just bring it up. Favorite. Oh, here we go. Where are we? The favourite is, at this point in time,
the obvious leader.
The Mitigator at 4s ahead of Go Nicholas at 450. I'll tell you something just out of interest. I if Go Nicholas wins this race tomorrow,
Yep.
I'm picking commentator George Simon will pull out a line along the lines of, and Go Nicholas has pulled their pants down. This is probably one of the better named horses in New Zealand. Don't think it's named after a boy with the name of Nicholas. Just say it without thinking how it's spelled, and then you'll work out what the real name is all about.
Okay, what are you going
You
for
got
there?
it? You worked it out?
Yeah, I
You worked
it out.
it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm asking you. You've done the form. You've been studying studiously over these this morning. Well, the mitigator looks like remember he led up in this race last year from a wide draw.
That's
Fought
right.
on okay. Another horse that I know you quite like and has run good races for you in the past. Watch the Space when you backed him in the Easter. Inscription, horse that I think you backed last time that didn't have all favours. So I don't know what you're going to pick here, Neil.
Well,
put me out of my misery and tell me.
In front, out of trouble. I think the mitigator, even with 60 kgs, it's only 5 kgs above the minimum. And I think he'll get a soft lead. Nothing will take him on. Watch the Space, might slide over, but I just can't see anything taking him on. And when that happens, we saw him in the Thorndon Mile. This is a weaker field than the Thorndon Mile, so I think he can kick and hold on here. But I just, even with, say, Vinda Dance matched in the trail, Scott Base, 3 back inner, watch the Space second out. I can't see any of those out sprinting the mitigator. So at $4, I'm not going to have a bet in the race, but I think he can kick and be hard to beat.
Yeah,
sound logical to
yeah,
you?
sounds pretty fair to me.
I do like Inscription for a place. I think she's a lot of her races, and the last 200 meters, she's had the fastest last 200 meters all day, running over a mile or 400 meters. You know, she can really sprint hard. She can settle sort of about 5th or 6th instead of about 9th or 10th that she's mapped. She can get in it for a place. But, Go Nicholas has got to be hard again. Yeah, that was a good run. He looked like he would improve with that run last week too. So if he can land sort of in the 1-1, wouldn't be surprised if he came at them hard late. Nasharima had to be improved with that run last week. Had a good look at her. She would definitely improve. But tricky little race.
No, very interesting. Look forward to that at 3:56 tomorrow afternoon. Now, can I get onto my sports selection?
You can. Class there.
Thank you.
Into it.
No, we'll go for a 2-leg multi, both at the rugby league.
Right.
Leaving out the Ukrainian table tennis today.
What?
Yeah, no, we haven't quite nailed the form of that sheep, as you can't even pronounce the guys' names, let alone know anything about them. 8 p.m. kickoff, first league game tonight. We're going for Penrith, -4.5 at $1.90. And they're taking on St. George.
Yep.
And South Sydney Rabbitohs at $1.80 head-to-head against the Broncos. Funnily enough, both teams are the away team, but I get the feeling home ground advantage isn't really that much of an advantage at the moment in the NRL, with the games being played behind closed doors. Just the form lines from round 1 and a bit of inside information from a rugby league guru in Australia has suggested they are the 2 best bets for the weekend's league action, both on a Friday night.
Good. Okay, we'll get this up on the website too so people know. All right. Now, last week's question, we had Sean Ritchie's. Which one was the odd one out? The 3 horses were?
The 3 horses that you had to work out were Zarella, Keep the Peace and Artistic. Wasn't too hard. I'm sure you could make cases for arguments as to why each of them could be the odd one out, but the obvious one was Zarella, because the other 2 did win the New Zealand Oaks and Zarella only finished 2nd. So I think we had 6 correct answers for that one, Neil.
Number 1 to 6.
I'll go number 2.
Number 2. Kevin. Kevin.
Well done.
So I'll email you back. I think it's an email entry, so I'll email you back and we'll put up your bet tomorrow morning before noon. Okay. Brickbats and bouquets. We had.
We need a question for this week.
Oh, we better have a question for this week. Far away.
Oh, Very simple one. Last year's winner of the Japan Trophy race at Tauranga. Pretty simple question, I would have thought. Very well performed. Mia won the race last year in 2019. Email or text those answers through to Neil by Monday night, and you could be in the draw and a winner like Kevin.
Yep, no, she was a good tough mare too. Is she retired now? That was the one that race?
Yes, going up for sale, I believe, potentially.
Oh,
might use Gavel House. 650,000 I see for Hassa Halo during the week. So that Gavel House, good way to get some of those other horses sold that might not go through the traditional sales. So it will be interesting to see what eventuates with the said mystery horse.
Yeah. While we're on the topic of auction sites, Greyhound auctions, David
exactly.
Archibald. Did you hear about that? The $400 purchase?
Yeah, came out and won at its second start and paid $38. So they could have only just had a lazy tenner on it. They nearly recovered their purchase price, and then you've got the stake money on top.
Great story. Yeah, no, it's if you enjoyed the dogs, it's a great way of getting into a dog. A lot of dogs will be going up on that site, so watch out for it. Brickbats and bouquets. Try and keep it positive, shall we? Any good news?
Yeah, probably just what we touched on, the way the people within the industry are responding, the understanding of the need to be in this lockdown period where there's no crowds, no sponsors, no public, no members, no owners allowed on a race course. And I think people understand why. So that well done to everyone going, we just need to do this for the greater good of both the industry and the country. And I think most people understand why and are accepting of it. So well done to the industry, shall we say.
Yep, too right. And just want to give a plug to the TAB for keeping up those bonus bets in the first couple of races. We've had a bit of luck this week, and even if you lose, you get the money. Yeah, get your money back in bonus bets. So if people lose on that, they can still turn over. And turnover is what it's all about. So I know I've had a couple of people who have reopened their accounts this week and started betting a bit more. So it could be a chain reaction, and hopefully a common thing that happens, the more people get back into betting as a form of entertainment. Right. Good racing at Tauranga Mara. Be quiet day there, obviously, in the stands, but some good fields just going through them now. There's one or two good value bets there as well. And Bivouac tonight on the William Reid. I think Bivouac's going to be really hard to beat tonight on a firm track. He just won so easily last start. And he's a brilliant horse. Maps the trail Pippi, and if he gets out, he'll win. So, anything else you want to
add? No, not that I can think of. Just everyone is, stay safe, stay vigilant, and hopefully, if we do the hard yards now, we'll get through this quicker than anticipated, and life can resume some sort of normality in the very near future.
Yep, and keep washing those hands. Sing yourself happy birthday twice, and that's 20 seconds, I reckon. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to do that twice, and you'd love to wash it.
I tell you what, the amount of hand sanitizer I used yesterday in the jockeys, well, in the way out area, etc. I reckon if I got pulled over for drink driving, I might have tested positive purely off the smell of my hands, mate. Yeah. That hand sanitizer is about 80% alcohol, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, everyone, stay safe, keep well, and we'll catch up next week.